Hi, I'm Jozef Rogulski and this is the Great British Chef's Signature Series. I was told that I wasn't going to do very well at school, so my parents said, you know, look for a trade. I've always enjoyed my food, picked up the knife and never looked back really. It was just very much a feeling that I could do it, that I felt comfortable at home. This is where I belong, you know. You need to burn yourself. You know, if you're going to lift 200 kilos every day and be a weightlifter, your body will make adjustments to doing that. And if you're going to run ridiculous amounts of miles every morning, then your body will condition itself to that. And if you pick up hot things every day, it's a fairly important part, taking the lumps and bumps of the trade. Hi, I'm Jozef Rogulski. I'm the executive chef at the Stafford Hotel, London. And today I'm making a John Dory dish with potato gnocchi and clawed clams and a vermouth sauce. I think it's one of those dishes that it's just all about flavour. I love the way that the gnocchi absorbs the juices and the sauce. I just think it's one of those ones that's just really indulgent and really satisfying to eat. So for the first step for our John Dory, we're going to cut off all the fins. Being very careful because actually John Dory has a lot of spikes all around the spine. I think there's something very satisfying about cooking fresh fish. I don't think there's anything else really quite like it. So we've taken off our fins, and what I'm going to do is feel where the base of its head is. I'm going to make an incision, and then I'm going to feel where its spine is. And we're just going to go around the edge of the spine, just gently, not rushing. The texture of the fish and the colour when you roast it in the pan is just phenomenal. I think the main thing is not rush it, because like everything, you know, if you rush it, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to cut into the flesh, which you really don't want to, because then you end up with unwanted waste. Just take your time. As you can see, we've stayed in nice and close to the spine. And there we go. So now we've got our two wonderful fillets. And then I'm just expose a little bit of skin on one side. I'm going to fillet, take the skin off the fish. And then as you'll see, what I'll do is separate the muscles. And then what I'm going to do is try and keep the same natural kind of fluid shape and cut it into smaller pieces so that it will cook evenly in the pan. We're just going to put our potatoes in to cook the gnocchi. About 45 minutes. Now we're going to start prepping the sauce for our dish. So what we're going to do, we're going to get our sliced onions. We're going to get a pan, going to get a cold pan, put some olive oil inside, about 50 millilitres. And then we're going to add our onions, a good sprinkle of Maldon sea salt. We'll give it a little stir. So I'm just going to deglaze now the onions with 360 grams of vermouth. So our onions have got to the point where it's starting to, you know, really start to be well reduced with the alcohol. We want to take it to the point that it's kind of glazy, and then we'll add our double cream. So at this point, this is where we want to add our double cream. We'll bring that back up to the boil. So this has come up to the boil. We're now going to pull this off. Just going to finish our sauce with a little bit of lemon juice. We're going to leave that sauce here to infuse. About half an hour really, nothing too drastic. We'll pass off all the onions and then we're going to add our chopped herbs. So I'm going to take the potatoes off. I'm just going to take them out and allow them to steam a little bit in their own skin, and also to cool down before I peel them. You don't want them to be cold by the time you're making your match for the gnocchi, otherwise it becomes very starchy and sticky, heavy, so it just won't be an enjoyable gnocchi. And then we're going to crush them through our potato hand press. Ooh, little squeeze. I love little gadgets like these, to be honest. I think they're great. They're perfect for at home, you know? So if anyone wants to sponsor me out there, for your home appliances. And the main thing is not letting the potato cool down. You know, because that's where it gets like kind of really waxy and horrible. So we're now going to make our gnocchi. We've got everything in here. We've got our flour, our potato starch, our parmesan, egg yolk, some freshly chopped herbs, and we just kind of cut everything in rather than mixing it, just to keep everything fluffy and not make it starchy and gluey. I'm just trying to see that all the ingredients are fairly well dispersed without over mixing it and it becoming gluey. And then you'll see like this, I'll just bring it into a dough and I'll just give it 1 or 2 gentle kneads to bring it together. If you knead it too much, again, it'll become starchy, it'll become gluey, it won't be nice to eat. We're gonna split our dough and bring it into like a little sausage roll until you get like the diameter and everything that you're looking for. And then I just give a pinch and cut my little pillow-shaped gnocchi. I'm not going to form them or shape them. I like the little natural kind of plump look about them. And then we'll put them on the flour tray and blanch them there. Because I'm not using a huge amount of gnocchi, you don't need a really thick, a huge amount of water. So we're just going to put the dumplings in. When they're ready to sit on top of the water, we'll lift them out. There you go. As we can see, these are now sitting on top of the water and they're ready to come out. Bring them off the heat. We'll lift them into the ice water. You see how they're all floating. So there you go. So you've got your fresh gnocchi in there. A little bit of olive oil, just so it doesn't all stick together and clump together. So you have just nice, shiny little dumplings. I'm going to start searing gently the gnocchi. I just want to get it a little bit golden, a little bit of colour around the edges. We won't heat these all the way through in the pan. We'll put them on the tray and then put them through the oven as the rest of the garnish is getting ready. So you can see now our gnocchi's got a really nice golden edge about it, and you can tell that they're just lovely and fluffy. So we're just going to put them on the tray and we're going to just reserve them for roasting in the oven after. The fish, season it both sides, but I'm going to then put it in the pan, skin side down, to start off the roasting procedure. So I'm just going to place it down in the pan that's got olive oil in it. Just going to hold it in place for a second, gently, just stop it from really contracting too much. You want to keep an eye at the colour on the edges, and that will kind of like indicate on when you want to turn it or not. What I will do, as it's now at this point, is I'm going to add a little knob of butter, which is absolutely, it's optional. If you don't wish to, you don't have to. And it's all about controlling that heat at that point, not burning your butter, making it nice and golden brown, nice golden brown foam. You'll see when I turn this over what a wonderful colour we've got. Just give it a little squeeze of lemon juice, and we're just going to spoon that over the top to go in the oven. I would even suggest that you then put your gnocchi on the same tray with your fish, get all the flavours starting to merge, and just heat them through together. We're going to pick the parsley to finish off our sauce, but at the same time we're going to use the stalks for cooking off the clams. So here we've got a hot pan going. We're going to add some olive oil, the onions, the clams, deglaze with a little bit of wine. We're also going to have the parsley stalks inside. And we're going to put now we've got our clams in the hot pan with our herbs and onions. We give them a little stir. Deglaze with our white wine. They'll take a matter of minutes to open up. We'll take these off the heat, we'll drain them out, and we'll reserve them for finishing our dish. So I've now passed off the sauce that we made earlier, and I'm heating up in the pan gradually, and we'll use this for heating up our clams. We're now going to put some of the clams and their juice into our sauce. So now you can see we've got that lovely sauce with these gorgeous clams all coming together. And again, right, these are already cooked, so we're not looking to cook them. It's just warming them back up. Okay. I'm going to start now by heating up my garnish of broad beans and samphire in the butter. The great thing about this dish is that you could really replace a lot of the ingredients with other things. You could use peas instead of broad beans. You could use sea purslane instead of samphire. It's very versatile, and no matter which way you want to, put the variations on it, it's going to taste wonderful in any case. Here we go. Here are our vegetables starting to sizzle. So we now got our lovely warm broad beans and samphire. We're just going to dress with a little bit of our chopped parsley and tarragon. There you can see you've got that lovely roasted fish. If you just crack it open, it'll be lovely and just beautifully cooked. We're going to drain our garnish there. So we're going to build it a little bit. So we're going to start by putting broad beans, then putting some of our beautiful little dumplings in here. A nice piece of fish. One or two of our lovely clams. But as I said, this is just a dish just full of flavour and satisfaction. You're just going to eat it and just be so filled and so satisfied afterwards. A few more of your lovely greens. One more clam. And then with just enough sauce for it to be peeking through, And we're going to finish it with a lovely chive oil here that we made earlier. So we heated oil at 50 degrees, we chopped chives, and then we blended it on a very high speed in the 50-degree oil, and then allowed it to sit in a colander or a fine sieve and allow all the lovely green oil to filter through. And this is my John Dory with herb gnocchi, vermouth sauce, and broad beans and samphire.